Every step I take now, the muscles between my legs ache faintly, constantly reminding me of everything that happened last night. Damn it. Looks like those marks he left on me weren't conspicuous enough. For the next while, forget about wearing low-cut tops, Ellie. I've got this gut feeling. He did it on purpose. That bastard just wants me to remember him every single moment of every single day. Ellie, I'm talking to you. Anna grabbed my arm, forcing me to stop. We were leaving the lab, heading out for lunch. Sorry, what did you just say? Is something wrong? She asked, scanning me carefully. Are you hiding something from me? I still hadn't decided whether to tell her everything that had happened between Ethan and me. But I'm afraid I can't keep this secret much longer. Todd sent me flowers yesterday. Maybe if I just tell her the truth, she'll stop asking me all these questions. He really is persistent, isn't he? Are you thinking of forgiving him? Of course not. To be honest, over the past few hours, I haven't had a single moment to think about Todd. I know this might be hard for you. After all, that guy is practically an Italian heartthrob, but don't forget how much you've suffered because of him. Don't worry, I said, linking my arm through hers and heading toward the exit once more. How could I not worry? I know you used to love him, and now he's back and living right next door. I just don't want to see you get hurt again. I'd rather die than get back together with him. You don't have to lie to me. Can we please stop talking about this?
Fine.
Then, let's talk about Morgan. Lately, just thinking about Todd has been driving me crazy, but thinking about Ethan isn't much better either. I hope you're talking about Bennett. Otherwise, I'd rather keep talking about Todd. You've got no reason to hate him so much. Right now, all I want is to pretend he doesn't exist, so please just drop it. But after what happened last night, that's going to be awfully hard to do. Those memories keep flooding back. His kiss, his touch, the things he said. Who am I kidding? It's not even a question of whether it's hard or not. It was the most unforgettable, intimate moment of my life, and no matter how hard I try, I can't forget it. But I have no choice. That night with Ethan Morgan will ultimately remain just another memory I'll have to work hard to erase from my mind. Back when I decided to be with him, I knew it would be a one-time thing. After all, he'd already said himself, he wasn't the type to take the initiative and reach out the next day. Besides, getting involved with Ethan had plenty of other red flags, too. At least he was honest with me, so I didn't have to keep holding out hope for anything more from him. But those questions he asked me last night really left me confused. I know I was a bit harsh with him at the time, but I just wanted to make it perfectly clear. There were certain boundaries I simply wouldn't cross. He definitely understood exactly what I meant, because when I got up to get dressed and prepare to leave, he didn't even bother to get out of bed. What a complete jerk. All afternoon at work, my mind kept drifting back to last night's scenes, and that alone was enough to torture me. And then, to top it off, I couldn't fall asleep at night either. But I'm determined not to lose control, just because I miss him. My body feels hot and flushed, my breathing is rapid, and my clothes are already soaked with sweat. There's no way I can close my eyes and fall asleep. That longing for him to be near me is driving me crazy. I get up restlessly. Damn it. It's already past midnight, and I've got to go to work tomorrow. Maybe watching a movie will help me finally drift off to sleep. I step out of the room, grab a tub of chocolate ice cream from the fridge, and plop down on the sofa. To hell with Morgan, and with everything he stands for. After who knows how long, I doze off for a moment. I'm jolted awake by a knock at the door. The TV is showing the end credits of The Notebook. Am I dreaming? Or is someone really knocking on my door in the middle of the night? It's only when the knocking sounds again that I realize this isn't a dream. My heart starts racing instantly. Who could it be at this hour? I got up and walked to the door, opening it just a crack to peek outside and see who was there. What on earth was Todd thinking? Are you kidding me? I opened the door wider. Hey.
Elle.
His words were slurred, his tone drawn out and indistinct. Was he drunk? I can't believe you're drunk enough to be knocking on my door. He leaned against the wall beside the doorframe, propping himself up with his arm. I'm sorry, Elle. I really wish I hadn't let you go in the first place. His expression was weary, his gaze unfocused as he spoke. Damn it. Right now, I just don't have the energy to deal with this. Don't do this. It's only now that I realize how stupid I've been. I once had everything I want most in life, but I never appreciated it enough. His voice began to catch in his throat, and when I realized he was about to burst into tears right there in front of me, I panicked. Don't worry, I said softly, patting his arm gently in an attempt to comfort him. It's all over now. I wish I could just go back and start all over again, he murmured. It'll be fine. You've just had a bit too much to drink. You'll feel better by tomorrow morning. No, it won't get better, he said, turning around and leaning against the wall before slowly sliding down onto the floor, resting his arms on his knees. Actually, even before I came back, I'd already been suffering over this for a long time. Seeing how deeply he was hurting made my chest tighten. This feeling really bothered me. I shouldn't be the one feeling sorry for him. Where are your keys? Let me take you back to your apartment, I said, trying hard to ignore the heaviness in my chest. He covered his face with both hands. I'm sorry. I know I'm being such a pain. I sighed, closed my own door, then crouched down beside him and gave his shoulder a gentle pat. It's okay, I thought, trying to sound indifferent, unmoved, determined not to let his current state affect me. But I just couldn't do it. Deep down, I knew my heart was soft. I didn't want anyone to go through the kind of pain I'd endured, not even the person who'd caused it all in the first place. I still remembered that pain, the kind so heavy it couldn't be relieved by any medicine, a pain that only time could gradually ease. I'd realized early on that loving someone meant accepting the risk of getting hurt. It was like handing over a gun pointed directly at your own heart, trusting that the other person wouldn't pull the trigger. That took absolute trust, and I'd already paid a steep price, learning that almost no one was truly worthy of such deep trust. You know what? Every single day, I ask myself, what on earth can I do to make you forgive me?
他说,
I know that hearing him talk about our past won't do me any good at all. You need to rest. Just thinking that you're just a wall away, yet I have to lie alone in bed, it's unbearable. So close and yet so far. There's nothing I can do, except help you get back to your bed. I tried to lighten the mood. Come on, lean on me. I helped him stand up, letting his arm drape over my shoulder, and I caught the familiar scent of him. He was a bit unsteady on his feet, so I did my best to guide him straight ahead until we reached the door of his apartment. Where are your keys? Wait a minute, he patted his front pocket, then his back pocket. Nothing. You didn't happen to lose your keys, did you? I might have left them in the car. Maybe it fell somewhere else. It's just unbelievable. I sighed. You drove all the way here like this? Please don't start arguing with me. Hearing him say that, a flood of memories suddenly came rushing back. So, what should we do now? I'll go downstairs and get it. You can't even stand up straight, just making it here is already amazing. Give me the car keys, I'll go get it. No need to trouble yourself. You'd rather sleep on my couch? Is that okay? I'm not being serious. But, forget it. It's late already, and I've got work tomorrow. No big deal. Let's just go. I took him back to my apartment and helped him sit down on the sofa. I'll go grab a blanket, I'll be right back. By the time I returned with the blanket, he'd already dozed off. I hesitated for a moment before stepping forward to cover him up, but then he opened his eyes. Here you go, I said, handing him the blanket. You'd better take your shoes off. He nodded and sat up. Thanks. Good night, Elle. Every time I hear him call me that, my chest tightens. Good night, I replied. As I turned to leave, he suddenly grabbed my hand, stopping me in my tracks. If I've ever caused you so much pain, I'm really sorry, he said, his eyes red and swollen when he finally opened them. I felt tears welling up in my own eyes as well. Good night, Todd, I said, then turned and headed back to my room, my chest filled with that familiar ache. I never want to feel this way again. I have to let go of every last trace of my feelings for Todd. Maybe there was a time when I even wished he could experience some of the pain I've endured, but not anymore. I just hope he's okay. It's time to let all this go. We all need to look forward and keep living our lives without holding on to resentment. The next morning, when I got up, Todd was still on my sofa. After I'd finished getting ready, washing up, and changing into my workout clothes, I walked over to him and stopped in front of him. I gave him a gentle nudge, trying to wake him up. He mumbled something, shifted slightly, then opened one eye. Ed? You'd better get up. It's time for me to head out. His gaze swept over my body, taking me in from head to toe. Then he sat up and stretched lazily. Going to the gym? He yawned, asking.
Yeah.
Walking there? Maybe.
Why?
Can I come along? Are you feeling any better now? I crossed my arms, asking skeptically. Just take a quick shower and you'll be fine. I can't wait that long. I promise. It'll only take 5 minutes. Look ahead, without any resentment, Ellie. Don't forget. I sighed. Well, hurry up then. On the way to the gym, Todd and I exchanged a few casual words, and I learned that he'd return home because he was now in charge of exporting his family's winery's wines to the United States. Todd's family, whom I'd never met, had once been the biggest obstacle between us, pushing him to return to Italy and expand his business. Now that his business had taken off successfully, they'd started shipping wines all across the country. Yet Todd's life still revolved around work. It seemed nothing had changed at all. After we arrived at the gym, we parted ways. It wasn't until after I'd finished my workout that I saw him again. He was sitting at the front desk, and as soon as he spotted me, he stood up. Is he waiting for me? I started walking toward the exit and realized he was following me. Elle, he called out, and I stopped on the sidewalk. What's up? I turned around, trying hard not to look at his shirt, soaked with sweat and clinging tightly to his broad chest. Ellie, he said, next time, just remember, don't date guys who are too good-looking because when they end up being your ex-boyfriend, it'll really hurt like hell. About last night, could I treat you to a coffee as an apology? It's okay, no need. I hoped he wouldn't take my kindness as a sign that I was giving him a second chance. But you haven't had breakfast yet, have you? Neither have I. And I really want to apologize. Let's just chat for a bit, okay? Fine, I sighed, finally giving in. Just so you know, I might as well take this opportunity to make things perfectly clear. We can remain polite and even friendly, but that's about it. We'd walked for nearly 3 blocks and ended up at the breakfast cafe Anna and I often go to. The coffee here is fantastic, and the muffins are among the best in all of Manhattan. Honestly, I'm starving. We sat down at a table in the corner while we waited for our food, and even during the meal itself, Todd and I managed to keep our conversation fairly light and casual. But I could feel it coming. We were about to have an inevitable, awkward conversation, the one where I'd have to shatter any hope he might still be holding on to. He cleared his throat and then spoke. I'm really sorry about last night, when I stumbled drunkenly to your doorstep, he said, giving a nervous little smile. He closed his eyes and rubbed his forehead with his fingers. I'm mortified right now. Don't worry, everyone's been through something like this. Who hasn't ended up knocking on their ex's door after getting drunk? I teased. Have you ever? No. Maybe it's just me who hasn't. Thanks, you've just made me feel even more abnormal. You know what? You're really special, he said with a smile that was both handsome and sexy, yet tinged with a hint of tenderness. That smile was enough to remind me that all it would take is a little bit of temptation, and I could easily fall for him all over again. Damn it. Ellie, you're headed down the wrong path. I think there's something I need to clarify. I'd barely started speaking when the cafe door suddenly swung open, catching my attention. Ethan stepped in, followed closely by Will, and my heart skipped a beat, leaving me completely frozen.
Damn it.
How on earth did they end up here? Judging by their attire, it was clear they'd just come straight from a run. I watched them walk toward a table. Will sat down first. Then, as if some invisible force had linked us together, Ethan stood by the table, scanning the room, and our eyes met.
It was as if he were searching for something.
I wished I could just disappear right then and there. Just thinking about what had happened in his apartment made my body suddenly feel unbearably hot. Ellie? Todd's voice pulled me out of my daze.
Huh? What?
I swallowed hard. What were you saying just now? My heart was racing, and my palms started to sweat. Sorry, I'm going to the restroom, I said, standing up and grabbing my bag. I hurried toward the restroom at the back of the dining area, set my bag down on the marble sink, and stared at my reflection in the mirror, trying desperately to steady my breathing. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Why of all places does he have to show up right here? Just seeing him is bad enough, especially now that I've just finished working out and look a total mess. I pulled off the long-sleeved shirt I'd been wearing over my sports bra, feeling the heat intensify with each passing second, then turned on the faucet and washed my hands. I was debating whether to hide in the bathroom for half an hour and then send Todd a text telling him to go ahead without me, when suddenly I heard the door open. I jumped so hard my whole body started shaking. When I caught sight of his back, I almost screamed. I froze in place, watching as he locked the door behind him and then turned around to face me. "What are you doing here?" I asked, my heart pounding so loudly it felt like it might explode. Mr. Morgan crossed his arms over his broad chest, his expression unreadable. He was wearing a gray t-shirt, black sweatpants, and black sneakers. "Just one day," he said, closing his eyes and shaking his head, his jaw clenched tight, clearly seething with anger. "You couldn't even wait a single day before running right back to your ex-boyfriend?" His words dripped with sarcasm and fury. What? He thought I'd gotten back together with Todd? Or am I just mistaken? We've only just started being together, and you couldn't even wait 24 hours before getting tangled up with him again. My blood boiled instantly, and my rage exploded completely. I stepped forward, stopping right in front of him, then slapped him hard across the face. "How dare you talk to me like that?" I growled angrily. He closed his eyes, bit down on his lower lip, then roughly grabbed my waist, spun us around, and slammed my back against the door. His body pressed tightly against mine, his broad chest pressed into my chest, and I could feel the hardness of his body pressing firmly against my lower abdomen. He lifted my arm and pressed both my hands above my head. "Tell me you're not with him," he commanded through clenched teeth. "Go to hell, you bastard," I shouted angrily, struggling to break free from his grip. "Say it," he growled, pinching my chin with one hand. "Do you think I'm some kind of easy woman? Are you denying it? Screw you." I really wanted to kick him right in the groin. "Good. That's exactly what I wanted to hear," he said, suddenly yanking up my black sports bra with one hand, exposing my chest. A surge of adrenaline instantly flooded my entire body. "What the hell do you want from me?" I gasped, watching him smirk smugly as he stared at my chest. He ran his finger lightly over the mark he'd left on my chest earlier. How dare this bastard be admiring the marks he left on me? "Wrap your legs around my waist," he commanded, staring directly into my eyes. I had no idea what we were doing, or why my anger was slowly giving way to an intense desire. A wild, urgent need that once again soaked my underwear. I didn't care about the consequences, nor did I care that I was drenched in sweat. I just wanted him to keep touching me. So I did exactly as he asked, wrapping my legs around his waist. As his body pressed close, filling me with an overwhelming sense of pressure, my thoughts completely spiraled out of control, and I couldn't help but let out a soft, trembling gasp.